Well, that's just what we need. Hey, it's listing Matt Hopkins as part of the call. That's not right.
Negative.
Oh, well, welcome to Practical Shooting After Dark. We do not have Matt Hopkins tonight. Instead, we have me. We have Joel Park. Say hello.
Hello, everyone.
We have Mr. Kim.
Hello.
Hello. So we haven't talked about it on the show yet, but the thing sweeping that everyone's conversation is the coronavirus, the COVID-19, the Wu flu, whatever you want to call it. That's what's going on right now, and it's kind of affecting shooting. So I thought we should probably have a little talk about how this is affecting shooting now, how it's going to affect things in the future, and then kind of where we see this thing going as far as it pertains to shooting.
What a good show topic, Ben. That was a good thought you had.
Well, it'd be weird not to talk about it, right? And it's super interesting to watch it unfold. A lot of people having their lives destroyed, but aside from that, it's interesting to see what's happening, like how this is being addressed. So, Joel, I mean, have you had anything canceled or changed thus far? And I should say we're recording this March 24th, so this isn't really out of date. If you're listening to this, I think on the 26th. This is okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm maybe not exactly Mr. Current World Events because I've been working.
What's going on with shooting, Joel?
12, 14-hour days, so I'm a little bit out of it. But basically, there's been like an RO class that was canceled this past weekend. No meetings over 10 people in Omaha anyway. So basically, like encouraging people to stay home. So any classes, events, indoor matches canceled, indoor shooting ranges closed. Our outdoor range, you're still allowed to go there and practice. So that's cool, I suppose. But I mean, any matches in the near future are outdoor local matches have all been postponed. So
postponed or canceled?
I'm sorry, well, canceled. Unknown if we'll have a makeup date later on in the year or what will happen.
Yeah.
But for right now, nothing's happening till the end of April is the way it looks. Like unless something changes, maybe reevaluate at that point.
That's the Nebraska thing?
Correct.
No gatherings of more than 10 in that state until the end of April. Okay.
Yeah, and then just today, as of I don't know, maybe 4 hours ago, they cut down where it's like you can't even like haircut, like salons, tattoo parlors, all those kind of places are all closed now too. So basically, most people are shut down and at home now. So you can get to an outdoor range and train, but that's about it. No matches or gatherings.
And what's going on for you, Mr. Kim?
Yes, the situation is pretty similar to Joel, but
you're in Washington, so you guys are getting hammered, I guess.
Yeah, yesterday the governor of the state announced the stay home law, whatever. So we're supposed to be home now by law. But I got emails from indoor ranges and outdoor ranges in my clubs. Indoor ranges are shut down, but then outdoor ranges, the governor was a little bit vague about what you can do and what you shouldn't do. He said you cannot come out home unless you're doing some essential business, but you can enjoy outdoor.
You can do some exercise.
Stuff. Yeah, so
you can go out there and do some Go Stop.
Yeah, I guess. So the outdoor range.
Go Stop is a smoker drill that Wantik's doing. I've been running that in classes now, Mr. Kim.
That's good.
People are liking the Go Stop.
Yeah, there's the last variation came out yesterday on training group. It's a Go Stop Vision Barrier. That's definitely my favorite. It's tough, but I think it's the most important in Go Stop drills, Vision Barrier. But anyhow, I can do the Go Stop drill, no problem. But I just cannot go. There are only a couple restaurants open. There's a list on the government website that does like a takeout stuff or delivery stuff, I think. So only other than that, pretty much all closed. Similar situation.
You can do takeaway food?
Yeah.
It's like that here too. Yeah.
And how long is that lasting in Washington at this point?
The statement from the governor didn't state how long exactly it is, so I'm not sure. But I've been watching other countries like Korea. Took about 2 months to get it to the downhill in terms of rate of infection. So 2 months, I think it's mostly gonna be a good guess.
Well, Korea didn't do the lockdowns.
No.
They
I
just
talked
did
to my
the
mom. It's
contact
still
tracings.
open. Yes, schools and like religious activities are still not allowed, but other things, businesses are open and people, hang out all the time, go to cafe, drink coffee, kind of thing, no problem.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So I'm checking now. It looks like in my state, the governor is asking us very nicely to stay home until April 24th, but we nothing is going to happen when
Mhm.
when I leave because they're not going to cite me or anything. So I plan to still go practice. I will be honest with you. Still going to go do that.
Are your
But
indoor ranges still open for business, Ben?
we don't have a lot of them. I could certainly check. Well, they've ordered the indoor range near me is commercial, and they've ordered non-essential businesses closed. I reckon that would include it, but let me check their website if you're really that curious, because um, you know it's kind of interesting. I'm guessing it's closed. Outdoor ranges. I got an email from one I'm a member of. They're allowing you to go out there and practice. They don't. They don't seem to care. No, the indoor shooting range is still showing open, so maybe they're counting that as an essential business. I noticed that liquor stores. I've been traveling during this, but I've been noticing that liquor stores are open and they're like considered essential in most places. And I think I heard some state are allowing takeaway cocktails or takeaway alcohol.
Yes, I saw a Facebook article around me somewhere. Yeah.
Yes, but it looks like matches shut down. As far as classes, if let me put it this way, I'll just comply with the 10-person thing. Like if it was a state where they make a law, I'll just comply with it. Should that happen, but I haven't had to smoke anything. Like we kind of took a poll for one class, like, hey, do you guys want to do this class or not? Because of all this shit going on in the class, everybody showed up. Everybody wanted to do it. So,
Ben, I don't want to put you on the spot. Would it be fair to say it'd be up to the class organizer then to check with his range?
I've got some questions about it. If like as far as me traveling to the class, I will figure it out. Like I will be there if it's possible. If it's possible for me to be there, I'll be there. Holding the classes, like obviously everybody's aware of the situation and kind of staying apart and trying not to touch each other or whatever, but just staying apart. And if people are comfortable doing it, I'm down to do it, provided the state is allowing it. So I don't foresee a lot of issues.
But the person that's organizing the class should probably be the one that you'd want to contact if you're taking a class to make sure that they have.
Yeah, I mean, you should I've gotten a few questions, not a ton, but I mean a few. I think that if in a few weeks we'll know more. We'll have a kind of a better handle on what's happening. As far as where do you guys see the shooting season going?
That's an interesting conversation, especially with it being a world shoot year. So it's a world shoot year, and so I mean, if they're still going to have the world shoot, guys that want to go should continue to train. I mean, it would be the way I would see it. Like that's a big deal.
Well, I mean, it's up to you if you want to go train. Like I would be more thinking how many matches are gonna get postponed or canceled as a result of this? What would you guys say?
I think there wouldn't be any matches until June.
Really?
I think June is where things are gonna start opening. Because as far as I know, all the matches I've been tracking, the earliest match I've seen was in June. Anything in April and May was either postponing or canceling.
I'm signed up for a match in April that they're saying is still on, like a level 2. So we will see if that happens. Going through airports right now it's eerie. It's weird.
Because they're so vacant, right?
Well, yeah, and everybody's aware of kind of the larger situation. So, one lady got on a plane with a flu where I was sitting there watching. She's like, "Oh, it's just a cold, I swear." And she was very clearly symptomatic with a cold. And I think she'd already been tested for coronavirus, but people weren't really taking that very seriously. It was pretty funny. I felt bad for her. I'm like, oh, this poor lady. I wouldn't want to be walking around in public symptomatic right now. That's for sure.
for sure not.
I think as far as what about, well, I should say this. I foresee us being in a situation where coronavirus is still a thing that's floating around out there, that in certain parts of the country, there'll be a lot of people sick and other parts less. And I think maybe we'll have a lot of our seniors and super seniors just kind of taking the year off of shooting.
I can see that.
I could definitely see that happening because I think there'll be kind of new sort of procedures put in place at matches.
Mm-hmm.
So like wiping down tablets with like I don't know, some like sanitized shit before you trade those off, and then just not touching anybody and not having a big shooters meeting. That'd be kind of what I would foresee happening, and then people who are at risk just not going to matches for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and talking about the shooters meeting, it's sometimes I think it like, well, I'll say at our club, for instance, it was one of those things like it's just always been there. You always have somebody stand up in the front and they talk for half an hour about just current events or things coming up or whatever. And now, like at our club, due to that, we don't do them anymore. And it's like we kind of, as a group, everybody kind of looks at it as like, why were we doing this? We don't really need to be doing this. We could get started shooting faster.
Well, the shooters meeting?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, at a club match, it's sort of I don't know. There's not usually a lot to talk about. It's like, hey, we have a disappearing target on that stage. Make sure that you use the appropriate column on the tablet when you're scoring that one. And then, like Joe Bob has raffle tickets he's trying to sell for the cancer kids or whatever. And like, that's what there is to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But and I can see the squad size reducing too. Like the government is trying to say, hey, not more than 10 people. And I got an email before one of the match was canceling. They didn't want to cancel, and they were saying, hey, now the squad size will be under 10 because the government says 10 less people.
Well, that's I mean, that's what I would do. I mean, if there's a group of guys that like want to have a class in a state where they have classes in a state that says, hey, no more than 10 by state law, mm-hmm. Then it's like, okay, then I'll just have 9 in the class and then me. Like I would be okay with that, but it's up to the guys if they want to do it. Oh man.
What do you guys think about this for an idea? You know that like we had it was a level 2 steel challenge match at our club where it's like it was gonna fall right into this window where you couldn't have enough gathering anyway. We're like, yep, canceled. We can't hold it. It's inevitable. But it's the year is already so packed. You look at all the level 2s, all the majors. I could very easily see.
You should be canceling.
Yes, canceling. But I could see not rescheduling. Yeah, exactly.
Because don't postpone, cancel.
The year's so full. Yes, especially for major matches. So anything in the first couple months, it's like once it's past that drop dead date where it's like, hey, we can't have that many people on the range. It's just gone for that year.
Yeah, I was talking. Pro Shot Tim kind of had some stuff out for sponsorship for a few matches, and he's like, yeah, I don't give a shit. Just like they can just keep it and use it next year. It kind of sucks for the person that has to hang on to the stuff for a year, but mm-hmm. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to be too bent if stuff gets canceled because there'll be more matches coming up later. If they try to postpone, things are already crammed. Like where are you going to put it?
Yeah, that was my point. Because if you want to go you could almost go to a major match every couple of weeks. If you're traveling around the country. So
it depends on the region, that you live in. If you're in the Midwest like you are, you can drive to a lot of matches in the summer if you feel like it.
Yeah, I could go back to back, week to week. So yeah, just canceling stuff and not rescheduling it. So it definitely makes the year interesting for that reason.
Yeah. One other thing, guys. Any safety precautions that you're taking for yourself?
I just the normal, like, hey, wash your hands, like before you eat. Sure, don't touch your face, that kind of common sense stuff. But I'm not going to walk around wearing surgical gloves everywhere I go. That's just
there you go.
I'm not going to live in fear, but you don't want to be stupid either. So,
what about you, Mr. Kim? Anything?
Nothing too special. 6 feet away is definitely what I do. So I don't like give a handshake or not even a fist bump. That's one thing.
No, you do a weenus bump now.
Yeah.
Bumping weenuses. I'll just tell you guys, I'm like, well, Joel, you know where I live. You guys have both been around where I live. I'm very close with family.
Uh-huh.
Like they have homes near me. So if I'm
I've
around,
been to their homes. Yes, I'm
yeah,
familiar.
I think on a daily basis, I would drop in for something, or they'll drop over to me. That is just not happening anymore. Like full stop.
Yeah.
So like no contact for me with like my parents are elderly, like fucking geriatric at this point. So
They're absolutely not. Your parents are both lovely. I like your parents a lot, but
yeah, what I'm saying, they're
for
old
health,
and at risk is what I'm saying.
for health concerns, yes, it makes sense. Or
yeah, so
yeah,
I don't like. I'm just like, hey, you're not going to see me, and I'm not going to see you. Probably for I don't know. It could be. I was thinking 3 months, probably, because I travel all the time, and I mean, let's face it. If one of us three is going to get this shit, it's probably going to be me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm acutely aware of that. So aside from that, nothing. I'm not going to really do anything different, but just isolate myself from other people. It's good I don't have a lot of friends. Otherwise, it'd be a problem.
Boy, lucky for you.
Lucky me. The ones I do have suck too.
One recommendation maybe. I don't go to grocery shopping unless it's necessary. But on the internet, there are many places where they sell pre-made food. Like I use the one. It's called Factor 75 something. It's for athletes. So it's something I've been doing before this situation. But I think ordering food somewhere over there, they have really nice food. Like they have all kinds of diet food too. If you're on the keto or any kind of diet, they have those kind of stuff. Just high quality meal. I think that's a pretty good idea. This is a good season to do a lot of physical training too. So right now, I reduced time doing live fire, but just substituting that for more workout at home. So I've been like feeling a lot sore, but eating those food, I think it's helping me gain more muscle and all that stuff too.
Absolutely, you're looking pretty swole, so that's good. Even the bougie ass. You guys know I like bougie ass food. You know that place, Kim? You've been there, Travail.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
That's one of your favorite places. Yes,
it's one of my favorite places. Now they're offering takeaway, like take and bake, bougie ass food.
really.
I just received this email. I will be interested to try that. I have to say.
The other thing is, I mean, we don't need to get into it to detail, but people that buy reloading components like they buy milk and bread, like, you pay the price, unfortunately, for not stocking up, because with this kind of craziness plus an election year, you absolutely do not want to be buying that like bread. We're like, hey, I need 3,000 rounds. I buy 3,000.
I mean, it doesn't affect us, but a lot of people were buying guns.
Yeah.
That was no problem for me because I've got guns, but a lot of people the last few weeks have bought guns. A lot.
And ammo.
Well, yes, of course all the ammo's gone, but they bought the guns, so there's like nothing to buy.
Yeah. Dude, but like 223, like loaded ammo is like, I don't know, 75 cents to $1 per round online if you find this stuff. It's crazy. So.
Really?
Yes.
You need to buy some 223?
I have more than enough.
Well, I would sell you some. I'll give you a big discount, buddy.
I was gonna say I have 223.
If it's $1, I'll sell it to you for 90 cents per. You're gonna do great.
I was saying I would actually give you some ammo if you were low, because that's the kind of friend I am.
I'm low because I sold all mine. That's probably what I would do. I'm such a piece of shit sometimes. I can't.
But anyway, this is you should, if you didn't learn this the hard way, you should be thinking about this for the future, and not because you're doomsday prepping or waiting for the apocalypse or World War Z or whatever. But if you want to train, you need to have whatever supply you can afford on hand. And then when something like this happens, if you want to train, you have reloading components. You can get out and continue your training.
That's real big facts, Joel. Well, anything else to talk about directly related to the Wu flu? No? That's okay. I'm sure there'll be more in probably by the time people hear this. Well, even now, they're probably sick of fucking hearing about it. So.
I haven't seen anything from USPSA. Have you guys, or have I missed it?
I saw Foley put out a thing just telling people to exercise their judgment, and it was some type of shit. I can pull it up and read it. It was fairly benign, but I think looking forward, we're going to be in a situation where Wu flu is a thing, and it's not like super outbreaky, but it's still an issue, and that I think will be more interesting. I'm trying to pull it up now.
one other place I wanted to take it that we haven't talked about is if you guys are
Yes.
comfortable, what
Of
does your
course.
training look like then, Kim? Are you going to train just as hard knowing this is a World Shoot year? Does this impact like how hard you guys are going to train? Are you going to take it easy for a couple months and see how things go?
I can simply compare with my preparation for 2017 World Shoot. 2017 World Shoot, my training about 4 months before the World Shoot was 8 hours training per day. And then before then, it was more like 5 hours training per day for the entire year. But at the time, the World Shoot was end of August, and this time end of November is this year's case. So it's quite a bit ahead. So in terms of how many hours I train right now, it's probably around 3 to 4 hours per day. It's not as there. I don't want to ramp up right now and burn out in the hot season where things are better and I can shoot outdoor nice weather and stuff. So right now, by purpose, I am actually trying not to train as much to actually conserve my energy and the motivation. So probably I'll do similar schedule about like 3-4 months before the World Shoot. So probably like when the summer hits, that's when I'm probably going to ramp up my training, not right now. And I think it's actually a right timing for this to happen, like the lockdown kind of thing happen at this point rather than a little further down the road.
Like early in the year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So mostly I do like 50% of my training at the time right now is actually physical training related. My flexibility compared to 2017 is not there. So I'm not just doing, I actually don't do any weights at the point. I do a lot of body weight stuff and also like Pilates related. I'm not doing actual Pilates, but those kind of workout that gives me mobility at the same time. So I'm doing a lot of that right now. So once the season start, I don't want any muscle sore. I don't want any my body tightening up, stuff like that.
I like it.
And some dry fire training, but my dry fire training is typically around 40 minutes to 50 minutes, but right now it's a little shorter, but 2 sessions. I'm doing like 15 minutes to 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes up to, but 2 sessions a day.
Ben, what do you think? Ben, that's the professional route. Ben, what do you say about a regular guy like me, a 40-hour week job, but I may be working 50 to 60 right now anyway? Would you tell like the average dude to be training hard right now, or to sit back and see how things go in a couple months? Maybe maintenance mode. What do you think the play is for a regular non-professional guy?
I thought you were going to ask me what I thought the play was for me, which is like go full send. But for a regular guy, look, and I found Foley's, I think, I don't know if it was written by Foley, but it's USPSA statement, so I'll hang it on him. We can talk about that in a second. But the regular guys, look, if you are worried about money, which is like, that's the other part of this that we're not really talking about. There's a lot of people that are going to be very seriously affected financially by this. If you think that you're one of them, or even if you're just worried, like, no, you probably shouldn't be blowing money on shooting right now if you're worried about that. Mm-hmm. If money's not an issue for you, I would say go train just to give you something to do. You know what I mean? Like, I like going and shooting by myself. I like that a lot. So I'm not really even changing my plans the next few weeks. My plan is to go shoot every day by myself. So I guess the plan for me is to go shoot every day by myself. So, man, if you're bored, yeah, go shoot. I don't see any reason not to train. But if you feel burned out, you want to take a break, that's cool too. You know, you gotta. I think we wrote a book about this. You gotta look inward, you know, and listen to yourself. If you're hungry and motivated right now to go train, I would hate to suppress that. I would hate to not go if I want to go. But if you have other stuff getting in the way, all right, fine, then don't go. No problem.
Yeah, I agree completely.
And for me right now, like, workout is something that I try to do at least like 4 or 5 times a week. But dry fire or live fire, if I don't feel like it, or if I don't have like muscle energy or feel tight somewhere, then I just don't do it. I try to be hungry over here, rather than try to bid mandatory sessions. Yeah. If I want to if I feel like I'm gonna have fun and very productive, I do it.
Yeah. Speaking for me a little bit, I mean, the last couple of weeks have been 60-hour weeks. Well, frankly, as much as I want to work, I don't need much sleep, and I was like out for the count, afternoon naps on Saturday and Sunday, just tired and feeling out of it. I have not been training at all the last couple of weeks. When things die down, they go back to normal. Yeah, I'll like what Ben's saying. I'll go to the range on my own anyway because I really enjoy it, and I'll still do dry training because I enjoy it. But it's secondary to like what Ben said, to echo some of that, your livelihood. So if it's like me, I physically couldn't train if I wanted to because I was just smoked from work. Or if it's a financial thing, then I would just put it on the back burner for a little bit.
I just think, I mean, I'm in the business of USPSA in many respects. I mean, people's spending on the sport's going to go down this year. It's just going to go down. Mm-hmm. Usually, I think the first things that are going to get cut are matches that incur travel fees. So that kind of shit's going to get cut out. And then people have less money for training or ammo. Interestingly, we're at an all-time member high on Practical Shooting Training Group right now because I think a lot of people are cooped up at home or want to do some training. So that's good. You're not going to catch the Wu flu on your computer probably. So that should be fine. Let's take a look at the statement from USPSA. The first paragraph is sort of interesting. USPSA recognizes the fluidity of the COVID-19 pandemic and its impact on hosting events in a public space. Many USPSA members and affiliates have reached out to USPSA with a variety of questions related to upcoming matches at all levels in response to concerns raised by a number of our members, as well as consultation with multiple experts on the situation. Out of abundance of caution, USPSA has decided to reschedule some of the 2020 national championship matches. So reading through that, I think I don't know. Maybe USPSA is not looking at this the same way I do. I don't think there's a big safety issue as far as spreading the virus. I don't think there's a big problem with outdoor matches. I might be wrong about that, but I just don't. I don't know how concerning that is. I mean, compared to like shutting down schools, shutting down matches is not going to be as helpful. But I think mainly the problem is going to be with travel and travel uncertainty. I mean, if people can get where they need to be, or even, like just the travel is really the issue for these matches. So they listed a bunch of shit that they're rescheduling and said, we've been advised that behavioral risk mitigation strategies are the best option for slowing the spread of the disease. And the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention have published recommendation and guidelines for mass gatherings. Oh my God. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Then a bunch of stuff about, use good judgment and comply with federal government, state governments, local governments, coupled with your own risk tolerance levels. I mean, yeah, whatever. Not much being said there, but I think we're going to kind of get into a different, get into a groove in a couple months where people kind of understand what's happening, and kind of like how society is going to function the next year or two until they sort out this pandemic situation. So we'll see. Well, one guy's comment was very, I should never read the comments on Facebook, but the first comment that popped for me, you should extend all memberships without charge for 6 months, says one guy.
Absolutely
Jeez.
Not.
Oh my God.
You should stop reading the comments.
I know. It's just like really? I don't know. I don't even know. How would you come up with 6 months? Where do you get that from?
What's the yearly membership? Like $35?
Oh my God.
So that would be
something like that.
Like $15 probably shouldn't alter your standard of living.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. What I kind of predict happening, or what I see is like the country, U.S. goes back to doing things sort of. There's like closures and lockdowns occasionally in different places, and then high-risk people just need to stay home. And then I think handshaking will be a thing that people don't do for a while. So that once we kind of find the groove like that, we'll know more and we'll know what's going on. And I think it'll be okay. You guys want to take a question? How are we feeling?
Of course.
That sounds good.
When engaging an array of open paper targets, but the targets are at different angles, like a normal one next to an upside down one, should you try to maintain the point of aim at the upper alpha, or should you mentally plan to find a straight line across the array? Probably a dumb question, but my wife set up our dry fire dozer for the next few days, and there's a set of yin yang targets. Have a great day. Pretty easy question, guys. What do you say? Who wants to take?
No such thing as a dumb question, and it's better to find out the right answer than guess and do it wrong.
It's absolutely untrue. There's a lot of dumb questions, Joel.
Well, we're gonna kick it to Kim then,
Okay.
because Kim will be
I
nice.
don't think
Yeah.
I actually don't think this is a dumb question, but there are
Okay.
definitely dumb questions.
Yes. There were times, like beginning of my shooting career, I would just look in terms of like center of ground and like sweep across, try to not break my straight transition as much as possible, even the target was one is straight up, one is straight down. But yes, in that case, I had a lot of Charlies on the upside down target. So I changed my thought process became more of the center of alpha zone rather than the center of brown. So when the target's upside down and straight up, the center of brown position is slightly different because of the recoil for the second shot. Typically, second shot, if you have second shot being higher, then upside down target will more likely to have a second shot on the Charlie. So that was my personal case. So I just simply fixed to focus my vision rather than the brown target, but a specific spot on the target. So I would pick a target that's center of basically where the alphabet A is.
Mm-hmm.
So it also depends on how low the upside down target is. So you just got to see which direction you need to transition to get to that center of alpha zone. So bottom line is just visually focus really sharp on the center of alpha zone where you want the bullet to go to.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure. Yeah, your
Yes.
eyes go first, then the sights follow. If you want to compare, there'll be no time difference between shooting the proper alpha zone and then moving to a target next to it and just eating Charlies, compared to transitioning the gun down properly and looking for the A box. There'll be no time difference. And it's good to also train your eyes for that elevation change, because then you'll see maybe people have a large popper and then they have a target right next to them. You'll see them shoot the popper, and then with their vision, they just move the gun straight over and they end up eating C's on the targets next to it because they didn't bring the gun up also. They focused on transitioning just from left to right. So practicing transitioning the gun vertically also is important.
Yes.
Well, you guys hit that out of the park. So look at the A zone, transition to it. Got it. All right, listeners, that's all the time we have for tonight. If you have a question you would like the answer to, go to bensteger.com. Send us your question. We'd be happy to talk about it, even if it's a dumb one. It's fine.
Which this one was not a dumb one.
Not saying this one was
No.
dumb.
Okay.
Just saying we'll even talk about dumb stuff. It's really all we do.
Very
So
kind
it's
of you.
Yeah, no problem.